There's so much joy and fulfillment of knowing that you're really making the biggest impact that you were destined for. I have 5 steps that I want to kind of break down for you all today to help you become a better self-promoter. There's always a turning point, the moment that tries to break you, but ends up launching your destiny. This is Miracle Moment. I'm Ray Ireland, and I'm here to help you rise into the mission God created you for. Let's jump in. I want to talk about self-promotion because if you've been through an experience, you have a story to share, and now you have maybe a new vision or perspective for your life, there's something that you're probably going after, whether that's growing a business or stepping into a new job or finding a new spot where you can be a bigger leader and make bigger impact. All of those things require you to actually self promote. And I know that most people, it's icky. You're like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to talk about myself. And especially don't want to like highlight and brag for godly women. It's so easy to fall into the trap of just being really quiet and not actually showing your shine. So that's what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about how to confidently promote yourself with purpose and faith in your journey. So that way you can break free from these old misconceptions that this self promotion is ungodly. And I really want to help you just shine from within with that confidence in your leadership. What that's going to do is it's going to bring you new and incredible opportunities that you could have never even dreamt about. I want to share this because right now I've been experiencing a new unlocking of this quote unquote self promotion. And I've had my own thing with it, especially when I became a mom and I didn't want to put myself out there anymore. I felt different. I didn't feel as comfortable and confident in my body, my voice. I hadn't been practicing speaking to others and being in that highlighted space. And so I really just preferred to be in my pajamas and be a mom and do those things. And sometimes, whether it's being a mom or going through another life transition, it can put you it can hide you. And it's not a bad thing to have those seasons. It's just a season, but there's a challenge when you realize that that season is done and it's actually my time to step out. So that's who I'm really talking to today is those of you that know it's my time to step out and I'm still being hidden and I shouldn't be anymore. And so what that looked like for me was I knew I wanted to like deep down start working with clients more, getting back into sales, doing shows again, like all of this stuff that I knew I really enjoyed. And I was sort of missing a little bit of that flavor and that like spice and that fire of life while just being doing my mom thing and my PJs and all of that. And so I knew that I wanted it, but on the other hand, I was so scared to step out and do that again. And I felt like shameful for really putting on this performance because I no longer wanted to do that. And I knew that the old ways of self promotion were not going to work. So it just felt really uncomfortable. And I just really struggled with this belief that self promoting and showing up in that way, that wasn't godly and that wasn't me like walking as a faithful woman. But that really is not true. And it's so cool to see what has happened while embracing visibility. Now, this has been, I would say, a solid 2-year streak of full on embracing visibility. And now, what is happening, what is turning in my life are so many opportunities and incredible people I get to connect with and conversations I get to have. And I just remember like 3 years ago when I was in that phase of being hidden and being quiet, I would go to an event and I would oftentimes need to quote unquote go to the bathroom just to go like cry and release. And because I just felt so hidden and I felt like no one's seeing me, but I'm also not, I don't feel confident enough to speak up. And so it's really cool to see what has just happened and what God has done in just 2 years with opportunities. And now being so in the practice, I know that I can get a phone call and someone can say, hey, like, can you speak on this? Or do you want to come to this event with all these people that are doing so much better than me so I can be the small fish in the big pond? And I know I can confidently say, like, yes, put me in there. And not only will I just soak up what's there, I will add value to that room. And that's a complete identity shift. And so that's what I want to invite you into is this opportunity or this new vision for what's possible on the other side of you self-promoting, as uncomfortable as it is. So I like to look at it or think of it like a lampstand. Now, a lamp is usually not placed on the floor, right? A lamp is usually put onto a stand or onto a table or onto a desk so that the lamp can shine its light and illuminate the room and make things visible. That's what we are. We are lamps. And a a lot of people that I talk to have this incredible light. And I have this conversation. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, who else knows about you? Are you sharing this with other people? And I can see they're like sort of dim a little and they're like, I'm not. Or I'm not reaching the people I wish I was reaching, or I'm not having those conversations. And I start to see that their lamp is actually on the ground. It's on the ground. It might even be hidden, tucked into a closet. It's not on a lampstand. So you need to place yourself on a stand so that you can give light to everyone and also so that you can make things visible. That is super prophetic because what happens when you make things visible? There's more discernment, there's more wisdom that you're bringing to the table. There's even more visibility that you can see for the relationships and the opportunities that God has lined up for you. It goes so far beyond just you promoting yourself or your business or whatever you're going after, your new dream, your job, whatever that is. And it actually can create more connection and synchronicities with the plan God has for your life, which is, of course, His mighty plan, which we all need to be actively a part of so that His plan can come to fruition. So, here's the deal. Like, if you're going to continue to shy away from promoting yourself, you're going to risk keeping those God given talents hidden, dimmed like a light hidden in a closet, and missing out on opportunities to inspire and lead others on their journey, let alone just walk yourself through your own journey. When you're embracing self promotion with purpose and faith, it will allow you to step into this divine calling like you have never experienced before. There's so much joy and fulfillment of knowing that you're really making the biggest impact that you were destined for. I have 5 steps that I want to kind of break down for you all today to help you become a better self promoter. If you're loving this conversation and it's sparking something inside of you, maybe it's time to share your own voice with the world. That's exactly why we created the Podcast Accelerator, to help leaders like you go from hidden to heard with a podcast that connects, inspires, and actually grows your business. We launched together in just a few months, and you'll have the system, support, and strategy to keep scaling and growing. Doors are open now, so the link to apply is in the show notes. We cannot wait to see you in there. So number 1, acknowledge and reframe your beliefs. So you just gotta identify any limiting beliefs every single morning. This is not like a one-time, one and done type thing. Every single morning, identify those limiting beliefs around self-promotion and reflect on how embracing visibility would actually align you with your divine purpose rather than contracting it or rather than opposing what your divine purpose is. Now, of course, we all have different seasons. Like I had talked about my season of motherhood, like that was an important time to actually be hidden. So again, I'm not sharing this for everyone in every season, but you know if you've been hidden for too long. So that's number 1. Acknowledge and reframe your beliefs and the thoughts that are happening in your mind. Number 2 is really illuminate your own value. So you got to do that to yourself first. List out all your unique talents and skills. So I would say, there's like the God given talents, the things that you were born with that just comes so naturally. And then there's your skills, the things that you have built up along time. You want to list all those out, acknowledge them to yourself, recognize then how, if you were to share them openly, that would actually really be a service to others. That's just like putting a lamp on a table when you have guests over, right? So that way they can see their way through the room. It's important for you to do for others. So that's going to be number 2 is illuminate your value. First do it for yourself and then start to recognize and link how those skills and talents that you have and that God has given you, you don't want to waste what God's given you. Let them be acknowledged by others as well. So we have step 1, acknowledge and reframe your beliefs. Step 2, illuminate your value. Step 3 is going to be align your actions with purpose. So just set clear intentions for how your self-promotion efforts will serve others and glorify your faith, and align your actions with that. Define what that core message is and what is that impact that you want to make, and come up with a game plan for how you're going to take action on that. I am a huge believer in using your calendar to really design your most dreamy lifestyle. And that should also align with designing the impact that you want to have. People that are reaching millions of people, whether that's building $1 million brands, building $1 million businesses, reaching millions of people online or in person. Do you think that's by accident? Like they're just stumbling their way into it? No, they're setting up a game plan. They're setting up a course of action. So you got to align your actions with that purpose. And then number 4, you got to develop that visibility plan. So you want to create a strategy, right? You can just like pop the goal on paper, but what is that going to do unless you actually have a game plan for how you're going to make that happen? So the way I like to look at it is I like to think of, okay, what are my goals first and foremost? What are those big, huge goals I want to do? What are those dreams that God has given me? And then go backwards. Okay, to make those goals come to life, what projects need to happen? What projects do I need to put together? Do I need teams? What does that look like? So I think goals to projects and then to tasks. The tasks inform and help build up and complete the projects, which the projects then move the goal closer to its fruition. So that's how you can create a really great strategic plan for your visibility and really just gradually increase your presence using maybe various platforms or methods that will align with both your business goals and your personal values. Always best to work backwards while mapping out any of this stuff. Okay, let's review what we've done. Acknowledge and reframe your beliefs, illuminate your value first to yourself, then to others, align your actions with purpose, and then develop a visibility plan. The last one is reflect and adjust. This is possibly the most important piece because a lot of times things aren't working and people spin their wheels. And so you'll see someone doing something in business for even over a decade and it's not working. And they come to me and they come to us and they're like, this is what we've been doing. It's not working. I'm like, how long have you been doing this? They're like 9 years, 10 years, 15 years. And that's where it is hard because, of course, there's going to be shame and guilt there because there's a lack of stewardship of what God has given us if we're just getting the same results over and over again. God calls us to multiply and grow and evolve. So our efforts should create that multiplication and should show that fruit. Of course, everything has its own time and season. So some things do take longer to develop. But we want to make sure that you are reflecting and adjusting in timing with the growth and evolution of your visibility and your self-promotion. So you want to regularly assess like, where's my progress? How am I feeling about it? And then it actually circles back to the number 1, which is what am I thinking about the results I have? And notice, am I putting a cloak of shame that is worldly around not succeeding or those types of things? Am I covering myself with that? Again, hiding all my potential so no one can see this light? Or can I just actually take off that cloak of shame and just take it as data and look like a scientist and see, okay, what is working, what's not working? So, the most important thing here is to stay connected to your faith. So that way you just ensure that these actions do remain authentic to your purpose, your intentions, your values, and then you can keep kind of working forward and moving along in all of that. All right. I want to leave you with one thing to do here, which I want you to identify one small decision or change that you can make today that aligns both the platform that you're going to use, whether that's online or in person, wherever you need to self promote yourself. I want you to today make one small decision or change that aligns both your platform and your calling. Think of it as a step towards like soaring gracefully, being aligned with God and being aligned with the vision that He's given you. But we want to make sure that that one change, just one, aligns. So that might be a change or a shift around acknowledging or reframing your beliefs. It might be around just seeing and noticing your value in a new, enlightened way. It might be aligning your actions with purpose. Like, why am I actually doing this? What impact do I want to have? Might be developing a visibility plan, or it might be taking some time to reflect and adjust. Okay. So, after you do this, I know sometimes when we get momentum around being visible, there is a desire to sometimes follow the path that we're seeing others go down, which is maybe virality. There are many people online, and a lot of us live in the online world where we see them and we're like, okay, I'm getting my feet under me. Like I'm running this race. I see myself moving, but now all of a sudden I'm kind of jumping into some comparison with the other people I'm seeing that are maybe becoming viral, have bigger followings, yada, yada. So, on the next episode, I want to dive into what it looks like to actually create true success and just really break down this myth that going viral is going to be the way to become more visible, to share more of your story, to have more success. Because if you're here and you're listening to Miracle Moment, I know you have a big story to share and a big mission to help others. So let's talk about other ways that we can create success with wherever you're at in your follower count. All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to Miracle Moment. Share the episode, hit follow, and join us every Thursday for prayer and activation. For more tools to rise into your God-given mission, visit rayireland.com. See you next week.